Hi, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Alroy. I'm a Filipino nurse in the UK. I've been doing agency nursing for maybe a month, so I'm fairly new and recent to this job, and I'm here to talk about it. Everything I'm gonna say and share will be my own experience and reflect my own view and no one else's, okay? What made me decide that I wanted to be an agency nurse is that number one, obviously the kind of money you can get from agency nursing is something that you cannot get from doing your regular shifts or bank shifts. I have a dream project, quite a big one back home in the Philippines. I'm a breadwinner as well. Desperation, basically. Those are my motivations for doing agency nursing. For the last month, I've been convincing my friends and colleagues to do agency nursing. They always end up asking me what it takes to be an agency nurse, because I think thinking about it, going to different hospitals could be daunting, but just the mere thought of it. And quite honestly, all it takes is guts, courage, and a really thick skin. Experience, I think, to be honest, experience will be your best weapon to be an agency nurse. So there's that. How did I apply? So everything is different for every agency, I know, but for my current agency, which is one of the best, I think, I believe, which I won't be disclosing unless you ask me on email. It took me 2 months to apply online, and I know that's quite faster relatively because of COVID restrictions. So during my time of application, everything was online. The test, the interview was online, submitting papers was online, all the checks were done online. But I know now that the COVID restrictions has been removed, I know that they now require to appear physically on their office. So that's probably harder now, I think. So it's gonna require you all the necessary trainings, your competencies and all that to practice as a general nurse. Oh, another background is I'm a general nurse. I'm a ward nurse. Just like most of the nursing population in the UK. I think what you want to know is the pros and cons of doing agency nursing. Let me start with the disadvantages first. Number one is that when you book an agency shift, there's an agreement with you, your agency, and the hospital that when you show up in the hospital, you can be sent wherever in the trust, within the trust. So you can book for an OPD shift and end up in the high acuity ward, and that's perfectly fine because it's part of the agreement that you signed with the agency. I remember booking a shift that says allocation on arrival, which literally means you can be sent anywhere. So when you start doing agency nursing, don't expect to be sent wherever you were supposed to, because everything can change within the moment. I think number two would be, it's always the first time every time, since it's very unlikely that you'll be going back to the same area. You're gonna know anything about the ward, where the treatment room is, the medication room is. Of course, they have to orient you on the hospital layout, on the ward layout, where to find what, who to ask for what, but obviously you cannot really memorize by heart for a 15-minute briefing. So you're gonna end up asking them everything, basically, through the entire shift, which is a hassle. Third would be the flow, the smoothness. Your shift will either be good or bad, and it would highly depend on the kind of people you'll be working with or the situation in the hospital. It could be a bad night or good night. You'll never know. So you're just gonna have to wing it and do it and expect the worst. When I say the kind of people you'll be working with, is that sometimes you'll find yourself in the deep end of the place. Some wards will allocate you to the most difficult patients. Some wards would allocate to the easiest one, and that's okay because that's part of the job. So just be wary and aware of this. You are at the hand and mercy of whoever you're working with. Just be ready for it. I think last is the travel. So when you book a shift, you're gonna say, oh wow, I'm gonna earn this per hour. Put into consideration the travel time you're gonna allot to it. For example, if the hospital is 2 hours away from you, that's 4 hours back and forth, and you have to consider that with the pay that you're gonna get. Do the math properly, because sometimes you're actually gonna lose money instead of making it when you consider the time you're gonna spend traveling, especially if you don't drive. And even if you drive, you're doing a night shift, the drive going back home after a long shift is gonna be tiring and exhausting. That was a really short disadvantages list. Like I said, this is my own experience. Let's talk about advantages. I think there's really not much advantage because it's still different when you just work a mile or 5 miles away from your home. For my agency, this is the rates. I'm gonna show you the rate card, and but what I really like to share is my recent shift. I think on Christmas Day, I did an agency shift in a hospital in Guildford, which is a good 15 miles, I think. I got paid £978. Gosh, imagine, £978 for a 12-hour shift. Before tax. So I did the math. I was gonna pay 128 for Uber going there. Going back was £50 for some reason, I don't know. So that's £178 minus the 7-8 pounds that you're gonna be making before tax. So all in all, I think I still took home around 700 pounds after tax for a shift that I did, which is more than 3 shifts on a bank shift at my own hospital, which is a crazy sum of money. If you think about it, makes you think and wonder about all the possibilities, all your earning potential if you just do agency nursing. Now, of course, the pros and cons that I mentioned is for a nurse who's doing part-time agency nursing, because it's gonna be different when you're doing it full-time. I'm on tier 2 visa, so I'm only allowed 20 hours of extra shifts outside my sponsor. So that's a factor as well. I know it's particularly taboo for people to think to talk about how much they make, but I thought people probably are wondering how much they make from agency nursing, and this is your answer. If you want to know which agency this is, I'm happy to answer. Just give me a message, comment your email, or send me a message on my Instagram, I think, or here on YouTube if you can, and I'm happy to answer and help you with that. I think people should not gatekeep agency nursing, because we all just want to make it, and here I'm sharing it to you guys. I hope we all make it. So yeah, that's the video. If you think you like the content, yeah, I'll be making more of this stuff depending on how you respond. So thank you for watching.